Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and we've got a fog of war puzzle to have a look at today. It's called Counting Constraints, and it's by Erin Toler. And Erin, I remember Erin because Erin was one of the first viewers who won one of our competitions, and Erin solved a puzzle with me on the channel. And she was incredibly clever. Her brain, she is whip smart. And I think this is the first puzzle of Erin's that I'll have tried. So I'm looking forward to having a go at this. It's a variation on the counting constraints rule, which we've seen a few times over the last 2 or 3 months, and I absolutely love this rule set. This is a slight variation on the basic rule set, but it sounds very interesting. Dynamic fog today, and I will read you the rules in a moment or two's time. Three stars out of 5 for difficulty, so hopefully not too monstrous, and one we can all get our teeth into. What else can I tell you about before we kick off today? I've got a couple of birthdays to do. I will mention, though, we are on the last day of July, and that means tomorrow, if you're a patron of the channel, it's a brand new Patreon reward. We've got this Sudoku hunt themed on the labours of Rostam, the great Persian hero. Oh yeah, I was nearly in the right place. There we go. That is going live at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow. If you can manage to solve all the puzzles in the Sudoku hunt, then you'll be in with a chance of winning August's competition, which is again to make a video with me where we solve a puzzle together. So if that appeals, do make sure you have a go. The puzzle, it's not too difficult. It's not too difficult. Lots of puzzles to do, and we do hope you all enjoy it. So that's over on Patreon tomorrow afternoon. Now the other thing I'm going to mention, I don't talk about our apps very often, but we've got our Sudoku Worms apps. We've got 2 Sudoku Worms apps that are sort of fairly new. They were out a couple of months ago, one by James Sinclair and one by Marty Sears, and these are great opportunities that give us the chance to showcase a particular constructor's puzzles. I can tell you that we have the Fistamafel worm releasing very soon, which is really very exciting indeed. Not for the faint of heart, let me add that. I mean, you won't be surprised to hear that. The puzzles are absolutely incredible, but it is a challenging set of puzzles. Anyway, look out for that in the next week or so. And other app news. The next main app we're doing is actually going to be Classic Sudoku. So originally back in the day, I think Classic Sudoku was the second app we released after Sandwich Sudoku, if my memory is serving me correctly. This was many years ago, and that app has been incredibly popular over the years, and lots of people write to us. Every week we get emails saying, "Oh, when are you doing a new Classic Sudoku app?" And the fact is, the channel has moved on a little bit. We don't do Classic Sudoku on the channel very often, but we are aware of sort of innovations in the world of Classic Sudoku, and I'm absolutely thrilled with some of the puzzles that we've got for this app. And I can tell you we're teaming up with the Japanese giant, the original Sudoku company, Nikkeli. Nikkeli have contributed lots of puzzles to our new app, which is absolutely terrific. If you know anything about handcrafted puzzles, you will know how good Nikkeli's classic Sudokus are, especially at the more difficult end. And the other person who we've been very heavily reliant on, and I mean, it's just an absolute privilege to include Sam Kappelman-Lyne's puzzles in this Classic Sudoku app. So this is going to be really an absolutely tremendous thing. It's not quite ready yet. We're just in final testing, but it's coming very soon. So I hope some of you at least will be excited for that. Now let's do some birthdays. I've got 2 birthdays, and neither of which I am late with. And that is a very unusual thing for me to be able to say in recent days. Mary, it's your birthday today. And I know this because your partner, and I'm hoping I'm going to say the name correctly, is it Sawa? It might be a Polish name. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at names. But Mary, your partner Sawa, wrote to us and told us that the two of you met a couple of years ago, discovered you both watched Cracking the Cryptic, but I think, Mary, you're a solver of all the puzzles. Sawa is more a watcher of the videos, And apparently Mary solves almost all of the puzzles that we showcase, which is, I mean, that's quite a lot of time that you have to invest to do that, although Mary solves them very fast as well. So it sounds like you're an incredible solver, Mary. Well, I know the two of you are apart today, but Sawa wanted to wish you a most happy birthday and described you as being such a wonderful person. So Mary, I hope you managed to find some chocolate cake today. Many happy returns. And then if that was Poland, it might not have been, so forgive me if it wasn't, but we're going to cross continents. We're going to go to Brazil, where Michaela, you've turned 20 today. And I know this because your partner Nanda wrote to us saying how much Nanda loves you, basically, wishing you the best cake ever. So that's going to be a very heavily iced chocolate cake, of course. And Michaela, I hope you have an absolutely brilliant day today. I'm guessing in Brazil your weather is going to be rather finer than the weather we have in Surrey, where it has finally cracked. We have had quite a good run, to be honest. It hasn't rained much, but today it's definitely raining. Hopefully it will keep Maverick away. Anyway, let's have a look at Erin's puzzle. These are the rules of counting constraints. And the rules are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Dynamic fog. The grid is partially covered in fog. Correctly placed digits may clear fog somewhere in the puzzle. Correct digits do not necessarily clear fog from their own cells. Oh, good grief. That's very unusual. Normally in fog of war puzzles, if you got this digit, it would clear the fog from all of the cells. In dynamic fog, it would normally at least clear the fog from that cell, and it might clear the fog from up there as well. But in this puzzle, it might not clear any fog at all. So that's already slightly alarming. Anyway, then we've got counting constraints. A digit on a constraint indicates the total number of times that digit appears on any of the constraints below. No cell contains more than one constraint. So you can see here we've got what look like they're whispers, are they? We've got some German whispers lines. So if we put, let's say that digit, I'm not going to put it in case it turns out to be right, but let's say that's a 7. What is that telling us? That is saying that the digit 7 appears on constraints 7 times in the puzzle. Not necessarily German whispers constraints, but constraints in general. So that's really a very unusual rule indeed. And then we've just got a whole list of constraints. So the constraints are German whispers, so adjacent digits along a green line must have a difference of at least 5. So if this was a 7, this digit here, which looks like it's on the green line, would either be a 1 or a 2. To be sufficiently different from 7, it must be at least 5 different. Dutch whispers. Adjacent digits along an orange line, so we can't see any of those, but let's put an orange line in the grid. So let's say this was a line. Adjacent digits along an orange line must have a difference of at least 4. So if this was a 1, this would have to be at least 5 to be sufficiently different from the digit 1. Don't worry, there's more constraints. Nabner lines. No 2 digits on a yellow line must be the same or consecutive. So if this was a Nabner line and this digit was a 1, then none of these digits could either be 1, so that couldn't be 1 because that would repeat the digit 1, but none of them could be 2 because 1 and 2 are consecutive. If this was a 2, on the other hand, none of these could be 1, 2 or 3 because 1 and 3 are consecutive with 2. Now, then we've got Renban lines. Pink lines are filled with a consecutive set of non-repeating digits. I really like that phrasing of the rules. So there's nothing about the order of the digits, and we need to dispense with talking about the order of digits along Renban lines. It's not necessary. Anyway, so pink lines are filled with a consecutive set of non-repeating digits. Let's do an example. So if this was a 1, these squares would have to be 2 and 3 in some order to make sure the set of digits overall were a consecutive set and there were no repeats. Counting circles. Oh, I'm going to struggle to show them. Okay, let's say that is a circle in the grid. A digit in a black outlined counting circle indicates the number of times that digit appears in a counting circle. So if this square was a 3, then there would have to be 3 3s in circles around the grid. Exactly 3. So you couldn't only put 2 3s in circles, because then the circle wouldn't correctly count how many 3s were in circles, if you see what I mean. And just 2 more rules. Odd circles, so they're different from counting circles, presumably. Odd circles, a digit in a grey circle must be odd. And Kropki, digits separated by a black dot have a ratio of 1 to 2, i.e. one of them is double the other. So if those 2 digits there were separated by a black dot, and this was a 4, then this square would either be 2, because 4 is double 2, or it would be 8, because 8 is double 4. So just make sure, if there are any black dots in the puzzle, and presumably there will be, one of the digits is double the other in the domino. They're all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my green lines, which I think is going to give me a digit straight away, actually, because if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you'll be very familiar with some of the tricks around green lines. And the most important trick to know about a green line is that you cannot put the digit 5 on a green line. In fact, I'm going to put 5 in because it won't be right, so it won't clear fog. Imagine this was a 5. What would this digit be? It needs to be at least 5 different from 5. And obviously if we go downwards, we're going to get to 0 and negative numbers. If we go up, we get to 10 and higher. They're also not Sudoku numbers. So we can't put 5 anywhere on a green line. So I think I've got to put 5 in the corner. Ooh, right. Okay. Hang on, I've just had another thought, actually. But I'll come back to that other thought. I've now got yellow. Is that Nabner? Yeah, I've got a Nabner line. I've got a black dot. I've got a counting circle. Presumably that feels like a counting circle rather than an odd circle. It's not grey, is it? No, it looks black to me. So I've got to put 5 5s in circles around the grid. So 4 5s are not going to be in circles. But hang on, I'm getting confused now. Okay, let me go to my first thought here, which might be a bad thought, but let me just go with it for a moment. My first thought was that every digit is now on a green line in column 1, apart from 5. So 9 is on a green line, which I think means that all the 9s in the puzzle have to be on constraints. A digit on a constraint indicates the total number of times that digit appears on any of the constraints. So the digit 9 can never be on a blank cell in this puzzle. Almost all of the digit 8s have to be on constraints. The digit 1 is only on a constraint in column 1 because 1 is on a green line. I mean, we don't know if that joins up, but it doesn't matter. 1 is on a green line, and that will be the only instance of 1 on a constraint that can appear in the puzzle. Now, the other thought I was having, and this was my second thought, is 5. 5 is on it's not on a green line, but it is on a constraint. But the 5s are going to be sprinkled round the grid in circles 5 times. So we couldn't Yeah, I think what this is telling us is we can't put 5 on this Nabner, for example. Because if we did, that would definitely be a 6th instance of 5 being on a constraint, because there are going to be 5 circled 5s somewhere in the puzzle. So if I do put 5 on a different constraint to a circle, I'm going to create a problem for myself. So 5 in box 1 is in one of 2 places. And that's rather pretty, actually, because now I can place 5 in box 4. Because one thing I know about black dots is they cannot contain the digits 5, 7 or 9. If you just think about the doubling relationship that's required, 5, 7 and 9, if we halve them, we don't get integers. And if we double them, we don't get Sudoku digits. So 5, I think, is going to go there. Oh, now I've got an orange line, which is Dutch whispers. Dutch whispers now. So let's extend this one, at least as far as we can see it goes. And yeah, okay, I was about to say, well, you can put 5 on a Dutch whispers line, and that is true. It has unusual properties, but you can. But you can't in this puzzle. Because if we put 5 on the whispers line, then that's going to be at least 6 5s on constraints, which is not going to be right. So I think we can get a 5. Oh no, that's fine, isn't it? That's fine. Because that 5 hasn't cleared its fog, but it did clear that cell. So this is the point about 5s, or not necessarily 5s, but digits not necessarily clearing the fog of the cell they're in. So I think that 5 might still be correct. I mean, logically, I think it is correct. It's just that the absence of fog clearance does leave room for doubt. So this Nabner line doesn't have 5 on it, but it has got 4 digits on it, none of which can be consecutive. So 2 of those digits are going to have to be from below 5, from 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 2 of them are going to have to be from above 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Because if we tried to make 3 of them be above 5, for example, we couldn't keep them all to be non-consecutive. If we had 6, 8, 9, obviously 8 and 9 are consecutive, so we have to only have 2. There's 2 high digits and 2 low digits on here. Now the green line is going to oscillate what I call polarity as well. So because 5 can never go on a green line, each digit on a green line has one of 2 properties. It'll either be below 5 and be 1, 2, 3 or 4, or it'll be above 5 and be 6, 7, 8, 9. And the crucial thing to appreciate about green lines is you can't have 2 of the same type next to each other, because they can't be 5 apart. So if this is low, this will be high, and then this will be low again. So this domino here contains it contains 1 high, 1 low. This line contains 2 highs and 2 lows. So this domino is 1 high and 1 low. Oh, bobbins. I don't think that does. Well, if it does something, I can't see what it is. Is this really? Hang on, have I forgotten a rule here or something? Because it doesn't seem like there's enough information to do anything. I mean, yes, sure, I know that. Oh, 1. I suppose. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I was about to say I've broken the puzzle because I can't put 1 in box 1, and then I realised I can, providing it's on the green line. Because 1 is on either. Well, I don't know if this is 1 green line or 2 green lines, but 1 is definitely on a green line in column 1, and that's the only instance of 1 in the puzzle that is on a constraint. 1 could not be in any of those cells, because that would be a second instance of 1 on a constraint. So 1 must be in one of those cells. Yeah, that's lovely. Right, so now look at the yellow line. Now we've just said that that yellow line has 2 digits lower than 5 on it, and now it doesn't have 1 on it. So it can't have 3 on it, because the other low digit would then be consecutive with it, whether it was 2 or 4. So this line has 2 and 4 on it, as its 2 low digits. And now, okay, so now I've had 2 instances of 2 on constraints. This is really clever, Erin. It's really unusual. I like this. So, oh yeah, okay. So 2 is on a green line somewhere in column 1. 2 is on the Nabner. So 2 can't be in any of those cells, can it? Because that would be a third 2 on a constraint. So either 2 is here, or 2 is in one of those cells, I think. And 2 can't be on this. Oh, hang on, I've had a different thought, which is maybe a simpler thought. But where's 1 in box 4? Oh, goodness, yeah. Where's 1 in box 4? I can't put it on a constraint at all, because it's already been on a constraint, and I know exactly where it, well, I don't know exactly, but I know it's in box 1. So that's got to be a 1, I think. Didn't clear fog again, but that might not necessarily be a bad thing. So this black dot now doesn't have 2 on it, because we know that the 2 2s are taken up between the green line and the yellow line. It doesn't have 1 on it. So it's either 3 6 or 4 8, depending on, well, perhaps 3 is difficult, is it? 1 3 on the green lines, that would be a second 3. No, there's no 3 on the Nabner, so actually it's probably more likely to be a 4 that's constrained, because we definitely do have 4 on the Nabner. Okay, so 2 is in one of those cells in box 4, because it can't be on the orange line. That would be a third instance of 2. It's not on this, so it's in one of those. It's in one of those 6. Oh, I've got a horrible feeling I'm about to get stuck again. If that was 4, if that was 4 8, that would be 4. And that would be 3 instances of 4 on constraints. Do we know whether these ones are circled somehow? No, there are 4 5s that are uncircled. The thing about fog of war, the best fog of wars are very clever, because, I mean, they're really, well, I'm probably going to say something now that turn out to be nonsense, but there really must be no point in looking at the final 6 columns of this grid. They just can't do anything, can they? So we know we only have to look at like a very, very small subsection of the grid, and there is some logic here that is apparently there, and I can't see what it is. And that's very, very annoying. Right, okay. I've got something, I think. I do know. Actually, I think I know the 2 is on that section. I think. That might be wrong, but here's my thinking about that. Orange lines, they are most recalcitrant creatures. They really are. But when you can't put 5 on a segment of an orange line, they effectively revert to being a bit like whispers. Because if you think about it, once 5 can't go on the line, and 5 can't go in any of those 3 cells, then could we put 2 consecutively lower than 5 digits on the line? No, because they won't be 4 apart. So this section of this orange line definitely oscillates polarity, just in the same way as the green line does. I mean, this doesn't necessarily oscillate, but that's also got oscillatory properties. So one of these digits is sort of a lower than 5 digit, and one of them is a higher than 5 digit. And that's the same here. This is either 3, 6 or 4, 8. And this is the same for this domino of the green line. So if we count low digits, i.e. digits lower than 5, and where they are in box 4, there's one of them, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one there, and that's all of them. So this cannot be a lower than 5 digit. It cannot be 2, is my contention. So that is a high digit. It's a 6, 7, 8 or 9. But now we know the polarity of this top line. This has got to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't be 4 actually, because 4 only neighbours 9 on a green line. So if we did put 4 here, both of those would be 9. This is high again, and that can't be 6 for the same reason. That would cause double 1. Oh, hang on. Sorry, yeah, 2 and 4 are on the Nabner. So these 2 squares have to be a 1, 3 pair, I think. They've both got to be low. And as 3 is in one of these positions, this can't be 7. Because 7 is not 5 different from 3. So we've got somewhere now. We've got okay. On this Nabner line, there must be an 8 or a 9. Because we know we've got 2 digits higher than 5 on it. So if there were no 8 and no 9, the only 2 digits that we could choose would be 6 and 7, and they're consecutive. So there is an 8 or a 9 on here. So now in this box, we're able to account for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. So this digit is 6 or 7. And that tells us that this digit... Oh, I don't like the look of this. This is getting very... Does that have to be 3? I think this has to be 3, and thank goodness it can be 3. I was thinking I'd broken it, because... I mean, if we think of... We need a digit that's 4 different from 6 or 7. If this was 6, there would be no digit available, because I think my 2 has to be in this domino. And obviously this is a 1, so I think this has to be 7 is where that comes out. This has to be 3. This is now not 3, 6. So this is 4, 8, and that's great. That's perfect, because now I know that that's a 4. It's still not clearing any fog at all. This is not 8 anymore. And there is a 2 in one of those. I don't think I know the polarity of this one. What about that digit, though? That's got to be a 7, 8, or a 9 to be sufficiently different from 3, and now it has to be 9. No, fog again. This is not 9. So, oh, hang on. I took the wrong digit out there. So this is 6 or 7, so this can't be 3. This has got to be 1, I think. So that, oh. That's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. It didn't clear any fog. There's a 3 down here now. Well. Oh, I see. No, it's much simpler. Where's 4 in column 1? And the answer is it's by Sudoku now. It's in one of these 2 cells, but it can't be here, because it would have 9 above it. 4 can only partner 9 on a green line. So 4 must be at the bottom. 4, no fog, 9. Now we're oscillating, so this must be the 2 now. And this digit is, oh, this digit's 6 or 7, and that's rather lovely. In fact, that's 8 as well. But we can't put 6 here, because on a green line, it's too close to it. So that's got to be 7. That's got to be 6. Oh, it did. Gosh, Erin sort of delays what we're getting to the very last moment. Ah, now we know what's on this Nabner by sort of process of elimination. 269 by the looks of it. And that's great because none of those are consecutive with each other. And the bottom of column 3 is 137 by the looks of things. And the bottom of column 2 is 268. It's a super puzzle, isn't it? It really is lovely. Oh, hang on. Now, well, I definitely can't. Neither of those can be a 1. I'm not allowed to put any 1s on constraints. That was one of the rules, so that's a 1. In fact, should we just take a quick count? Because I think I've got all my 3s now on constraints. I've got a 3 in column 1 there, a 3 on this Dutch Whisper. One of these is a 3, so there are no more 3s and no more 2s and no more 1s on constraints. I've got the 1, I've got a 2 there, I've got a 2 here, I've got 3 3s. How many 4s have I got? 1, 2, 3. I've only got 3 4s, so I can put one more 4 on and lots of 5s, providing they're circled. And oh, hang on, every 9 has to be on a constraint. No. Okay, let's think about this orange line. How does that work? Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, this can't be 7, because if this was 7, what on earth are we putting next to it on the orange line? We need a digit at least 4 different from 7, so we're going to be going downwards, and this would have to be 1, 2, or 3. And we've just said we haven't got any more scope for putting 1s, 2s, and 3s on orange lines, or indeed any lines. So this has got to be 3. This has got to be 7. Erin again refuses the fog from clearing. So what's this then? It's 7 or 8, I think. Oh, well. Okay, but it's the same point. If this was 7, this digit would be low again. It would have to be 1, 2, or 3, which it can't be. So that's got to be 8. This has got to be 4. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Thank goodness again. So we've now got a Renban that's emerged from the fog, and that can't have many low digits. Well, it could have a 4. Oh, no, it can't have 4 on it. Ah, this is gorgeous. Yeah. I get this. Right. Okay, look at this line. It's at least 4 cells long. I think it is 4 cells long. Because I've now had a 4 on an orange line, and I think that's my 4th 4 on constraints. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is. So there is no 4 on here. There's no 3, there's no 2, and there's no 1. So in theory, this could be 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. But it can't be 5, because 5 has appeared. Well, 5s are going to be in circles. They are not also going to be on pink lines or indeed any other line. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. And I don't think it can extend anywhere. It will break my understanding of the rules if it does extend. Oh, okay, we've got an 8, 9 pair here. That's good. So this is 6, 7. So that's got to be 8. That's got to be 9. Oh, I thought that was. Oh, maybe this 8, 4. No. Oh, okay. 2. Oh, there we go. Right. That's how we get it. That's how we get it clearing fog. We've got a yellow line that's going at least to here. We've got a very peculiar gap cell. Ah. Okay. Is this here to tell us that 9 can't go in this cell? Because look, 9 is in one of these 3 cells, but it can't be there. There is no constraint operating in that cell, and all the 9s are meant to be on constraint cells. Oh yeah, this is super. Right, this might be my favourite cell in the puzzle. Where's 8 in this box? It's the same point. There's an 8 down here that's not constrained. So all the other 8s, given we've got an 8 on a green line, all the other 8s in the puzzle are on constraint cells. So this can't be 8, and by Sudoku that can't be 8, so that's 8, and that's going to give us 8, and no, oh, well, I thought it was going to give us fog clearance. Maybe that gives us fog clearance then, or these 1 5. It can't be that, can it? Oh yeah, no, I suppose it can be actually, because the same points applies to this. This has to have 2 high digits on it. It can't contain 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. So it's 2 digits from 6, 7, 8 and 9 such that they are not consecutive. So this digit has to be an 8 or a 9. Otherwise this would be a 6, 7 pair, and that most certainly breaks. In fact, doesn't this have to have 6 on it? Yeah, I see. Yeah, so this has to be 8 or 9. This has to be 6 or 7 to keep them apart. And now that's a 7. So this is a 6. That's a 6. That's a 7. Bingo. Now we've got 2 more blank cells and lots of lines that have just emerged. Let's fill those in. Whoopsie. Oh yeah, this one down here, given it hasn't got 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 on it, it's at least 2 cells long. I think it can only be 2 cells long, because otherwise it will have to venture down into the realms, the nether regions of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s in order to contain a non-consecutive sequence. But it hasn't got 8 on it, so it must have 9 on it. If it didn't have 9 on it, the only digits these could be would be 6 and 7, and they would be consecutive. So I think that's got to be a 9. 9 is in one of 3 places. We need to make sure it's on a constraint, so it might have to be here. Although, hang on, look, I hadn't seen this. We've got a line going up here as well. Well, that's it. That's very interesting. Look at, no jokes about me at parties, thank you. Look at these cells. If this pink line joined up, it would be too long. It would be a 5-cell sequence, and it would have to, again, given it would have to contain consecutive digits, even if we had a 9 on it, it would get down as low as 5, which it's not allowed to do. So I think we can say that this has to be kept separate. Well, yeah, and in fact, I think this is just a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. Given we can't put any low digits on any constraints, those cells have to be 6, 7, 8 and 9, and therefore that's 8 by sort of Sudoku-y type thing. Yeah, and there must be 7 on this top line, because it's even if it was 8, 7, 6, it would have 7 on it. It's either 9, 8, 7 or 8, 7, 6. So it's got 7 on it. So this digit, which has to be consecutive with 8. I mean, let me just think about that. Is there... Well, it definitely isn't 7. I'm just wondering if this line wanders off somewhere else. Could that cause us a problem? That's definitely not 9. Let me think. My gut reaction says this has to be 9, but I'm not... If this was... Let me think this through. If this was 6, this line would have to have 7 on it from somewhere, which couldn't be here. So it would have to get a 7 from some other box. Where would it do that? Could it get it from there, perhaps, or there. Maybe. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it's intended that we know quite how that works yet. So I better be careful. I do know that's not 9, because otherwise these cells couldn't be filled. Now, is it Sudoku? It could be Sudoku. Or is it this? Oh, that's right. This is a 6 or a 7. It's got to be not consecutive with 9, and it can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I've got a quadruple in column 4. So everything else in this column is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 4 is... No, 4 is not restricted. Oh, 4 is restricted in box 2. 4 is in that domino. So 4 is placed in box 5 by Sudoku. 4 is in one of those cells. And okay. What do we do with that? What do we do with the drunken sailor? I don't know. That digit's a bit restricted. 1, 2, or 5? Oh, so that could be one of these circled things, couldn't it? Yeah, we've got lots of cells in the puzzle that are now definitely not high digits. Let's double click our 9s, because we've got to make sure that all the 9s are on constraints. So 9 is in one of those two cells in box 9. It's in one of these two. What about... Oh, I see. Look, it's 8s. Well, there's a point about 8s. If I put 8 here in box 3, it's not on a constraint, and yet all the 8s are on constraints apart from whichever one of these is an 8. So I think that has to be 8. Oh, it didn't clear fog though. So 8 is now in one of those two cells. And 9 in this box must be on a constraint, and it isn't. Why do I... Yeah, that can't be a... So 9 is in one of those two cells, so this can't be a 9. And now this is a 9 by Sudoku. I thought that was going to clear the fog. I hope I haven't made a mistake. Okay. Oh, this square's now a 2. So in row 3, we need 3s, 4s, and 5s. So let's see if that helps us. Don't think it does. No, I'm not seeing how to do that. Okay, is it to do with... Maybe 7 has to be on a constraint in this box. Because that would be quite nice. That would put 7 here and it would do this 6-7 pair for me. Or maybe it's just Sudoku on something like 6s. Right, so what have we found any 7s that are not on constraints? We have, in fact we haven't, have we? It's not as good as 8s. Every 7 I think I've placed in the puzzle has been on a constraint. So I can't really use that logic. That's bobbins worthy. Okay, 7 in box 5. There's this 6-7 pair here, so 7 in box 5 is in one of 2 places. Does that help us? Apparently not. No, I don't think it does. So do we now know? Well, we probably don't care if this line extends, do we? If it does extend, it would extend into a 9. Actually, we would care, because we would then know this was a 9. Oh, hang on, if there's a 9 there, this is a 9. So that's a 6. That's going to do my 6 and 7 in box. Ah, this is a 7. Oh, thank goodness for that. It's really discombobulating when the fog doesn't clear. Oh, look, this does go. This does go there, so that's got to be 9. It can't be any... Oh, I didn't clear fog again. But it can't be anything else. We can't go down as low as 5 on anything, any sort of line. Right, and that 9 is putting a 9 here. And again, this is on a line. Well, what? This can't be... This has got to be 8. It can't be any other number. I'm going to claim that. How many 9s have we put it? We've got all the 9s. We've got all the 9s, and we can sort of see that they're all on constraints. Now 8s. What about 8s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I can do the 8s down here. 8, 6. 6 by Sudoku. 6 is in one of these two. But again, doesn't that have to be a 6-7 pair? There's nothing else we're allowed to put... I don't think there's anything else I'm allowed to put on lines, so I think that has to be a 6-7 pair. And that means we know the order of it. Oh, I didn't clear... Oh, there we go. Okay, that was good. That did clear the fog. Or cleared some of the fog. Oh. I can't... Well, that can't be a 3. I've had all my instances of 3s on constraints, so that's one of these 5s we've been looking for. So this isn't a 5. I think there's probably a lot of Sudoku I can do now to tidy things up. But I'm never one to shy away from not doing Sudoku. Let's 3 and 5 here, I think, in these two cells. What about column 5? 1s, 2s and 3s to place. That's not 7 anymore. That's a 1 or a 2, that cell. Bobbins, that's 1, 2 or 3. So we must have a 7 in one of those. We could probably get the 7 here, I think. That's maybe where we'll look next. So 7 is definitely unconstrained in box 3. So we need, hang on, how many 7s are on constraints then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it must be off a constraint. Ah, but we can't see under the fog, so I don't know. I mean, obviously if the 7 is here, it's off constraints, but if it's there, it might be, it might not. It depends if there's anything hidden. Well, so what am I meant to do? How many 6s have I got? All of them. I've got all the 8s. So is it 5s? Can I do more with the... Oh, I suppose... Hang on, there are 4 5s that are uncircled, aren't there? And one of those is there. One of them is there. That's not very useful. I suppose one of them's there. In row 8 we haven't actually got... So I can only have one more uncircled 5. But... how do we do this then? Sorry, is this obvious? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I know, I see. No, you don't do it that way. You do it, well, you could probably do it that way. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to do it by counting. I'm going to try and make everything I can a circled 5. So if I do that look, that could be a circled 5. That is a circled 5. That could be a circled 5. That could be a circled 5. That's 4. 4 I can easily see. But I'm going to contend that I have to have a circled 5, therefore, in one of these 2 rows. Otherwise there wouldn't be enough. And that means, well, it means this can't be a 5, because if that's a 5, where would I put the one circled 5? The one circled 5 that must be in at least, well, then there might be 2 circled 5s in those 2 cells, but there must be one. So at least one of these is a 5, and it's looking at that cell, whichever one of, it might be both of them's 5, but at least one of them must be a 5, so that has to be a 3. So, didn't clear. Well, it gives me more Sudoku. Actually, it gives me, oh, okay. Oh, so this was a 5, but it wasn't circled. So that's a circled 5. But the logic was good. I'm convinced by the logic that we did there. So we've now got all our circled 5s. Let's just give that one a red tinge as well. And all the fog's cleared. So in theory, I should just be able to bash this out by Sudoku now. That's a 2, 3, 4 triple. That's a 1 or a 5. What about this column maybe? That's not a 4 anymore. It's a 1, 2 pair left to place. Oh, the 7s are not resolved, are they? Because we haven't got a constraint to lean on. Right, so where is the trick then? Is it 4s? Probably not. Maverick, there's the weather improved enough that Maverick has taken off. Well, he's certainly taken off, and he's about to buzz past the window. Sorry about that. There's not much I can do about it. So, okay, what's this then? That's 1, 2, 3, or 5. It could be that there's some sort of little trick that we need to find. It could be an X-wing or something that we just need to finish off the puzzle. But let's try and figure out. So these are from 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a 1, 2, or a 3. Oh, it's not, that's not a 3, look. Yeah, so that means this is a 3 by Sudoku. Now I've got a 1, 2 pair in box 8, so that's going to be a 5. That's going to be a 3. That's a 1. That's a 5. Okay, that's quite... I've now got a 1, 2 pair in row 1. So these are 5 and 7. And I know the order. So that's 5, that's 7, that's 7. Neither of these is... Oops, neither of those is 3. And we can ask about 4, I think, in column 7. Well, there's a variety of things we can do, but amongst them... Oh, look, this is now going. It's going now. I think we might have solved it. Perhaps. 1, 2, 1 in the corner, 2, 4 pair over here, a 2, 3 pair down there. This is a naked single 3. Yes, we've got 2 3s in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That is a lovely puzzle. Really clever. How many people have solved it? 172 in 12 days. The start is quite difficult, actually. I found it bizarre that there was enough information. There were a couple of times I thought, I just don't know. But the more you think through the constraint, the more you realise how powerful it is. And Erin's sort of selection of what to show at the various points was really classy. Erin, that was very, very good indeed. Oh, look. Oh, I see. So that 9, if it wasn't on a grey circle, wouldn't have been on a constraint. Ah, right. Now I understand. So that part of the rules was there just to deal with that. It's brilliant. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.